Good Friday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel where I talk about cars and trucks, motorcycles, and lots of other things. And I have a morning conversation. Watch my channel first time. Every morning I get up and I just kind of do a little 30-minute segment of ideas and thoughts, and so that's what's going on this morning. And we're down at my parents' house in the retirement community, I guess you could say. That's the majority of people that live here. And it looks like the garbage truck man was on time. And actually a little cool, not real cool, but wearing my long sleeve shirt and wearing my and not time, not the warmest. It's gonna be a nice day down here. It's just beautiful, sunny day. Getting my dad's garbage can here. Hard to believe it's already Friday. Got the truck back, got the motorcycle back. Watched my video yesterday on the daughter driving the trailer, the motorcycles. I thought she did a good job. And I thought the truck did a good job, getting different comments and all. And appreciate all the comments. Some people think that I should maybe set the bikes back a little bit so it doesn't squat as much. And I don't know. I mean, the truck just handled so well yesterday. I just kind of don't want to really change it, just because lifetime, and I've driven trailers in my lifetime, that that weight, it's just so, it's incredible. You can change the distribution of the weight on a trailer, and the trailer instantly is a whole different animal. I mean, I so remember back in Tennessee last year, I loaded up my dresser bike and my non-dresser bike, and I staggered them. Trailer, and actually it wasn't even that. It was my bigger car hauler motorcycle trailer that I can haul 4 bikes in. And oh my gosh, that was actually very scary. It wasn't noticeable until I got up to that 60-mile-an-hour range down there in Tennessee on Route 26 heading back home. And I mean, that's what happens in these trailers. Low speeds, you don't really catch. It's usually 45 miles an hour plus that you start getting the variation. It starts to kind of get weird on you if you didn't load it correctly. And so that was just really freaky. It was so bad. That trailer was borderline. I was in a crash. That truck. I mean, it was bad. And I had to pull I had to pull off an exit ramp, and I had to redo the way those bikes were loaded. So, the point is, I've driven a lot of trucks and trailers, and I kind of know what I think works versus what doesn't. And right now, I'm just to change the setup on that bike by pulling those bikes back further. Only because once you get a little bit of that weight in that back behind, if you get that, right now those bikes are sitting like right here close to that axle. I'm concerned once I put the weight behind the axle, then what happens is it's the trailer just starts doing this. The back of the trailer, it goes crazy. I mean, it just gets, that back tail, it just starts fishtailing on you. So anyways, appreciate all the comments, and we're not leaving today. We've got about another week before we'll be leaving to head back north. Think about it. Got resistance from others, too, that don't think it's a good idea to let the kid drive the truck and trailer. And, how do you keep the house? How do you keep the house happy? The people in the house happy? That's what I was thinking of this morning. My theme this morning is house. I thought to myself, and the only reason I'm saying that is because of Kevin McCarthy has this whole week was trying to elect a new speaker, and it's turned into a fiasco. And so I thought to myself this morning, hey, here's an idea. I haven't done a lot of research and reading and watching news all night by any means, but I just thought house. Here's all the houses down here, and it's hard to believe that these homes are $500,000 homes. Hard to believe where we are in today's world of the value of these homes. That maybe 5 to 7 years ago, these were $300,000 homes, and now for the most part, they're $500,000 homes. Just incredible, isn't it? Just incredible how the housing and the prices really didn't jump until the pandemic, and that's what the pandemic just spurred so much stuff to get so much more expensive. Has anybody really stepped back and thought about that? Yeah, so the house, right? So I thought to myself this morning, I'll talk about the house. And the garage door here closed. The kid back yet. So we'll get here in the house, get my coffee, and get the morning going. And get to see my parents' house, right? Show my house on the YouTube channel. All right, whatever, you know. So everybody has different views on that, but yeah. So, anyways, Friday morning. Hard to believe. Another week, for the most part, has passed us. What's the futures here? What's going on here? And then, yeah. So anyways, so how do you keep the? How do we about cars when you talk about a house, right? I mean, how do you kind of relate that theme? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, sincerely, it's the same thing. For so many days, I have no idea what I'm talking about tomorrow, and it's just at the last second I kind of think of something, and I'm not here to embellish myself. You know, I'm not the smartest of the bunch. I'm not some professor. I didn't go to college per se. You know, I just, so, you know, my channel isn't about me trying to prove I'm bigger and better than you. That's not who I am. That's just not who I am. That's not how I operate in my life. And I won't operate in my life, even though so many people talk down to you and think they're better than you. It's not my channel. So if anybody thinks I'm radiating, look at me, I'm so much better than you, then I don't think you watch my channel and really listen to what I talk about and who I am and see who I am. So, and why do I talk about that? Oh, I don't know, just to share if anybody's new to my subscription or anybody that just kind of watches here and there. So, yeah, so how can we relate the house to the automotive industry? And I think to myself, well, I think that we could kind of use the pandemic as an example. And that would be that the change in transportation. I think that if you look at the pandemic created the work from home, I mean, huge. Overnight, people, due to the pandemic, were forced to stay home and were forced to remotely work from home. So that changed the whole transportation sector. I mean, it's kind of interesting how you don't hear a lot. Mom's up. That's a good thing, right? Mom was moving over there. Good to see that. And so you don't really hear a lot about how the public transportation sector just got destroyed. I mean, I know you do hear about it, but you don't. I just always think to myself, it's so weird how the states, the government bodies, they lost so much tax revenue, but at the same time, they lost so many things they had to service and take care of. I mean, there's so many variables, like the public school system. All the lights were turned off, the heat was turned down, the janitors weren't there anymore. I mean, there's just so many things that during the pandemic for the governing bodies, for them to take care of their house. You know, where'd all that money go, and where's all the savings, and where's all obligations as well? Yeah, so I'm just thinking to myself this morning that the house all of a sudden became the person's, the house turned into a lot of things. If you think it through, I mean, the house turns into people's offices. So for the transportation sector, that was a huge hit against the transportation sector in so many ways. But what's so befuddling, just got to think this through, that the car industry, the demand for cars, it seems, went through the roof. But people were not driving to work anymore. So, and I'm not saying that everybody's in the same shoes, but what I'm saying is that once again, it's kind of confusing to think that when people were told to stay home, they didn't have to drive back and forth to work anymore. Why did you all of a sudden need a new car? I mean, really? I mean, think it through. So, I mean, to me, so the house had a huge impact in the automotive industry because it created the craziness of people now working remotely from home. But I think also it opened the door up with people having a lot more freedom and a lot more time. So that drove actually people, I think, more to wanting to have a different vehicle, and more to having a motorcycle, more wanting to have a RV. And, I mean, the list goes on in the transportation mode. Did they buy airplanes, helicopters? Because people now had more freedom. So the freedom, I mean, that's the irony to where borderline the green agenda wants things to go. The green agenda would always see you stay home and not go anywhere. But the pandemic was a huge, indicator that people had more freedom than ever in their life per se. I'm talking about you being able to remotely work from home and not maybe spend 2 hours a your day going back and forth to work, right? I mean, if you think that through, so now you have extra 2 hours out of the day for you now to enjoy to do something else. Maybe that means it gives you time now to go on your little fishing trip. Gives you time to go ride your motorcycle. Gives you time to go enjoy doing your back road in your nice car that you just bought. It gives you time now to make maybe you can remotely work from your RV up in the woods on your nice new RV. It made it so you can go buy your boat and take the kids out and family out and go boating and remotely work off your boat. I mean, the list goes on and on and on of what the remote working did for so many people. And at the same time, with the house, the home became, think this through. The home, I know I've said it a few times, it's early, I have my coffee, it's Friday morning, So the house became not only the office, it became the education center. It became the school, right? Because now you had your kids at home that are having to use the house to go to school. So all of a sudden, the house, if you think about it, the foundation of the house, I mean, it's just a known fact that the house is such a foundation of our life in so many aspects of how you look at that, on family and security, and that's the other thing, is that the rural preferred lifestyle grew by leaps and bounds. So the house drove people out of the cities because of the realizing you now could work remotely from home, that you didn't need to be parked right next to your job in the city or right outside the city. You could move out, maybe move anywhere. So now you could remotely work. There's many stories of people that remotely work for companies that aren't even in the same state. It could be thousands of miles away. And so there you go. So there's the transportation sector where an individual was basing their decision of where they lived because of having to pay money to either drive a vehicle or ride public transportation. So they changed their lifestyle of how they, were getting around. So is that another driving factor, that not only people then wanted to live more in the suburbs and rural areas and wanted to get out of the cities, but now that forced the hand of people how to buy a car for the first time. If a person lived in the city most of their life, now they're like, you know what? It's finally time to cross the bridge and buy a car because we're living in a rural area. Yeah, I mean, where's that talked about, right? So for the house, it just seems like since the pandemic, the house, I can still remember pre-pandemic, the housing market wasn't that crazy. It wasn't, in fact, there were many builders borderline begging people to come buy a house from them. I know for a fact. I was down here in 2018 and had a builder begging me to buy a piece of property here in Tarpon Springs, Florida, which to this date, I feel like, what a huge mistake. I never did that. Oh my gosh. That property I would have paid for, it basically doubled its value from 2018 to 2021, 2022. Wow, right? So the housing industry, the housing industry was part of the pandemic. So the housing industry truly upended the whole transportation sector, where it created the mass. What happened? Everybody and their brother all of a sudden wanted to learn how to ride a motorcycle. Every brother wanted to go out and buy a boat. I talked to, business owners, and I talked to salespeople. If you watch my YouTube channel, you see I kind of start talking to people, and I could easily go into businesses and start talking to people and make channels and YouTube stuff. But when I say easily, I could go out there and create conversations of a business, how they doing, what they're doing, but I haven't gone down that road with my YouTube channel. But the point is that I would talk to salespeople and the business owners of these businesses, and what I would hear over and over again was the same story. Yeah, this person here has never owned a boat, and this is their outlet because of the pandemic. They can't, they can't go do what they used to do, going to the movies and going to the theme park and going to the show, the museum, blah, 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 blah. So they want to buy a boat for the family to go out, and that's their recreation to get away. RV, same story. Motorcycles, same story. Hey, I'm brand new, first time ever motorcycle riders. The couple wants to get some motorcycles because they just want to get out and take a ride, and that's their outlet. So so many things in the transportation sector grew by leaps and bounds because of the pandemic and because of the house. Because the house now became the Swiss tool of everything. Meaning that your house now, if you have a family, was being used more than ever to have an office in it. It's now being used more than ever to have a school in it, right? I mean, what else am I, missing? And then at the same time, everybody, your brother, sitting around their house started thinking it needs to be painted. I don't like the way the kitchen looks. I want to update the kitchen. But, all the major renovations that people were. I mean, there's so many stories of people that work at these Home Depots, Lowe's. I mean, every one of them will tell you when the pandemic happened. It turned into everybody and their brothers showed up. Well, I mean, does anybody remember all that? Oh, here they come. Here they come. Yeah.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Yeah.
Popcorn. Hey, Grandmommy. I love the purple.
Thank you.
Yeah. Popcorn was parking the car.
Yeah. Where?
And
Where?
here.
Okay.
And he ran over all the sod.
Oh my gosh. It probably peeled up one with his tires.
Nope.
Okay.
But he ran over it all. And I can open my door a full door length with an extra 2 or 3 feet.
Next to the Bronco.
Yeah.
And so he got out of the car. Is he saying son of a bee? Does he know yet? Oh, that's the dogs.
Oh.
That's Grandma. I want to make sure the dogs don't get. Yeah. What's going on? Hi there, little girl. Yeah, she's having her morning routine. A little fun. Yeah. Somebody's got diarrhea. Somebody has diarrhea this morning. Well, I found it in my bedroom. I guess it's one of the dogs. But okay, so Popcorn pulled up, and he.
Neither of them pooped.
No, that's not
This
comforting. That's not comforting. So Popcorn destroyed his little project.
Yeah, and then this guy was stretching on the street, coming on the Eastwick Woodwinds.
Yeah.
And Popcorn stops and waves, thinking he's waving at him.
He thinks the guy's waving at him. Oh, and he's just stretching. Wow.
He was like this.
Yeah.
And Popcorn stops and goes,
Where is he? What happened to him? He's out there.
he's parking the car getting Steve's trash can.
He brought the trash can in.
Steve's.
Oh, Steve's. Okay. And so, but is the driveway destroyed again? All right. Back to the conversations.
I just want to say last night, that was the best one I've had in my life.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You like salmon?
That's also the best salmon I've had in my life.
Wow. The Iceman chef here on YouTube. So I go to the food channel and become the chef Australian man, Crocodile Dundee. Here he is. Yeah, I heard you tore up your sod. Dad?
What?
All right, see, there's my life.
What?
Here's why I walk away from her when she talks to me. It started very young, okay? The house I was brought up in, here he comes. I thought, Julie said you drove over the sod.
No, I'm just packing it down so it roots well.
Okay, there you go. Mr. 2 foot 2 feet shuffle. Quick on his feet, quick on his thinking. Yeah, my wife. I mean, it's just part of the way we were brought up. You saw the way my family, oh my gosh, the communication factor in the house. Yeah, so, all right, let's go. Hospitality report. What is it saying? Leisure and hospitality, jobs, education, construction. 223 jobs, 20,000 jobs added. We are just kind of all over the place. It's Friday. It's the fun day. Friday, right? Friday's fun day. Thank God it's Friday. TGIF. That's what they say. So anyways, back to the house. The house has become the multifunctional tool, I think, more than ever in our lifetime. And there's all the noise, right? As I try to focus on everything here. So, but also you think, the foundation of the house. What does that mean? To me, that's implying, how strong is your household? not only how strong is your house, but what's the family? The family, the strength of the family. You have like I was telling you the other day. Yesterday, my brother has a neighbor, the meth house. That house is a shambles. It's just disgusting, and the people that are part of it are disgusting as well. So the meth house, right? You don't want to have that name. And then I think to myself, there's so many things going on right now in the with Tesla and Elon. So Tesla, they're saying Tesla's house. How's the house of Tesla doing, right? Being that they're saying in China, they're cutting the prices by 30% because now Elon's must move is he wants to become the biggest, the largest automotive maker in the world. So he's discounting vehicles at higher percentages to try to get the volume back, or is he discounting vehicles because the competition here is the house is solid for Mr. Elon, the Tesla? Is it? I just think that the EV market now is becoming much more flourished with many more manufacturers. So I don't think the house is going to be as strong. Could be wrong, but even though if you're following Tesla at all, they've just have patented the rights to sell boat motors and airplane motors or something, or they I don't know the way they exactly word it, but they have applied to be a boat engine or a boat electric motor builder and an airplane builder. So the Tesla thing, what people say is don't let Tesla fool you. Tesla is under one conglomerate, SpaceX, Solar City. I guess I could be wrong on that, but the house for Tesla is a lot stronger than you realize because it has so many things going under one shell, which I think people were very upset about that. Whatever happened to the shareholder lawsuit against Musk? Whatever happened to that? That was on over the radio screen where they had investors suing him for taking too much money out of the company, but he met the pro forma that allowed him to take it. Whatever happened to that conversation? Where's that? Where's the House Judicial Committee or whatever? Who was investigating that? Right, the House. How is what's the status of your house? Does your house have great value? It's changing up a little bit. Another gentleman here follows my channel. Talked about the reason the housing market is slowing down is because people aren't selling their homes. That's what's really going on. It's more people realize that to sell their house and try to go buy something else with the higher interest rates, they don't accomplish anything. So right now, exactly. It's pretty much a no-brainer. I'm glad he reminded me of that. And whole point is, if your house is worth $500,000 and you got a 3% loan on it, and you want to buy the $700,000 home and it's going to have a 6%, 7% loan on it, why are you going to do that? You're not going to, you're not going to make the great gains that you think you are, because you're going to be spending so much more money to borrow money. Now, if you have cash, that's a different ballgame, right? But that's one reason that the housing market is so down. But at the same time, I just haven't seen anything radical. I'm just not. There's so many people who thought the 2008-9, crash of the housing market was upon us. And there's so many YouTubers out there that talk on a daily basis of how the housing market is crashed and crumbled and the foreclosures. I'm out watching the channels. It's always the doom and gloom. It's the doom and gloom. It's the good doom and gloomer YouTubers that have so many followers. Do I need to do more doom and gloom all the time? Do I need to make my channel scarier? How desperate are you in your house to make a buck, right? Yeah. How desperate are you? What do people use their houses for? Yeah, well, my brother's neighbor next door's house is the drug lab. How does that play out, right? Yeah, we understand all that. My brother always just said he expects one night to be laying in bed and just hear an explosion. And my brother's so deaf. Here's this good story for you. Growing up, my brother, sadly, he's like 85% deaf. And I'm not making fun of him. I'm just telling you the stories. My brother, if you follow my channel, my brother, sadly, he fell off a building, the IBM building in Manassas, Virginia, in 1983, March 23rd, my dad's birthday. He fell close to 4 stories off the side of a building from welding. And, and we didn't know if he'd be alive. And he flew him to MedStar and to the DC MedStar, and we had no idea in 1983. I just remember my dad calling me at the Fairfax Auto Parts that I worked at in Fairfax, Virginia, and told me that my brother had fallen off a building and was in critical condition. We had to drive to D.C., and we never knew in that era, you don't have cell phones or anything if he was alive or dead. And so, anyways, kind of fast forward, my brother, thank goodness, survived all that, but he was in basically a body cast for like 6 months. And my mother had to take care of him. I mean, he was in the hospital X amount of time. So anyways, here I am, the guy that's out there driving the Chevy truck that I had. And this is my last year. Well, no, this is after the high school year. And I sunk my truck, my dad's truck. You know, my dad's red Chevy stepside truck. First one he bought in 1978. And then I lifted it, and I did some engine things to it, and, I did some customization. And so now I'm four-wheeling this thing, and I sunk the truck in a really bad stormy night. The little stream went to a river. And, I mean, I'm not lying. The truck floated down that stream. It was now a river with 3 of us in it. And so anyways, to kind of fast forward, the truck now is, I'm having to rebuild the motor, and I'm having to redo the transmission. We're having to drain all the fluids out of things. And so in the gas tank, here's my friend and I out in the garage. And my brother is inside the house, watching, on the couch. And we're using a wet vac as we suck all the gas out of the truck. Because there's maybe some water in it, who knows. So we did that. And it wasn't until like a day later, we both looked at each other and thought, wow, we were sucking gas out of a gas tank with an electric, vacuum cleaner. I mean, odds are nothing's going to happen. But we just thought the whole garage would explode and been blown off the side of the house. And my brother, he's so deaf, he'd just be inside the house, on the couch and oblivious to the whole half, the garage is gone and we're up in the trees and probably dead. Yeah, I mean, just with my brother, many stories on, the antics of my brother and my dad and my kid. You can see all that, right? So anyway, back to the conversation of the House, right? Came out of nowhere. Is Kevin McCarthy going to become Speaker of the House? He's having to sell his soul, it looks like, to get the opposing party to maybe give him some favoritism. It's ongoing. Wow, right? And so now the running joke is that, he's going to have to appease those that give him the power to be. But does he have the power to be? Because now he's had to sell out to the opposing party. How does that all play out, right? And then there's there's other theories out there of how that could all play out as well. Apparently, one person voted for Trump to be Speaker of the House. I think Gates or something. And that theory is that if the sitting president happens to not, be around anymore, and then the vice president can't handle the pressure, then Trump would be then back in the presidency. Because apparently Pelosi and Schumer or Schuler or whatever passed, I don't even know who passed the bill or whatever, that says that, if the president dies or, something happens to the president that's not capable to be the president anymore, then the vice president dies or not capable to be the vice president anymore, the Speaker of the House becomes president. So apparently that was passed during their tenure, I guess. Is that factual? I don't know. I heard that yesterday. I don't know if that, I've never looked that up. So what's it? What's the guy's name? Gates? I thought the guy was being an investigator for misconduct with like an underage girl or something. What happened to that conversation? And the politicians that just kind of slither their way around life and get in and out of the slither is about the truth, right? The snakes upon us that are elected by us, right? And so apparently he voted for Trump. Is that factual? Anybody else hear that? Thinking that scenario could play out one day, and then Nancy Pelosi would be going nuts. That who knows? I don't know. It's just there's so many things that you hear, and then the Hamlin guy from the Bills, apparently he woke up and he asked who won the game. So apparently he is apparently the house that he came from, the family and all. We can have a hope and prayer for that. And you say to yourself, that person gets so much attention. And I just think to myself, there's so many people in this world where bad things are happening to them and they get no attention. But at the same time, it's entertainment, so I get that. The person's an entertainer because he's a professional football player, and not everybody rises to that stature. So, it's just the media that is giving a lot of attention to that because of that person having something happen under their, entertainment. Then Ken Block, they're doing, I guess, a lot of videos. Who's going to get the movie rights to do the history and the life of Ken Block? Wonder who's already negotiating that deal behind the scenes of just a sad. I haven't really been following the news real lot, so I don't even know when his when they're going to have burial services for him. I have no idea. Just wow, the house. How do you think his house is today with his wife and 3 children? Just you don't even want to have to think about that, But I'm sure if anybody watches my channel that's military or a public servant that's seen people sacrifice themselves for others, they're just like, yeah, I mean, it's brutal beyond brutal, and it's just interesting how the celebrities get more attention than the people that go actually and sacrifice themselves for others. Isn't that something? Celebrities have more attention and more, sorrows and more fundraising for, whatever, and everything else than the individuals that actually go out every day of their life and put their life on the line to protect others. And that's just, that's not even on the radar screen, which, right? Yeah. How we operate, how does your house operate? What's your house environment, right? What's the housing environment? Is the housing market really going to go to shambles? I don't think it is. I mean, I think that will there be an adjustment? I think there will, but is it going to be radical? I just don't see it. I'm just not seeing it. I mean, but even they're saying a lot of people getting laid off. The focus. What's all the focus besides all the doom and gloom? I mean, sincerely, what is all the focus? It just seems to be never ending, the doom and gloom of the media machine. Am I right or wrong? I mean, maybe I'm just looking at it wrong. It just seems like, when do you hear anything really great and positive? What's wrong with Russia? Russia asked for a ceasefire because Ukraine is kicking their tail. Is that what's going on? Have you heard that? Russia wants a 30-hour ceasefire because Ukraine's just over there tearing them up. Yeah, how's the house of Russia? How's the house of Ukraine? All right, everybody. Yeah, I just kept it another morning conversation. What's going on today? I have no idea. What are we doing today? I have no idea. So I guess stay tuned for a surprise of what? Yeah, right. Yeah, there's nothing going on, nothing going down. So I got business to take care of, other things to do, and take care of the family here. And the time's just passing so fast that it's hard to believe a week from now you'll probably be looking at me on a video of me being back up north. So the kids got to be back in college, and I got to get back up north to take care of what's up north. So anyways, I appreciate everybody following my channel and having nice comments and thoughts and ideas and views. And as always, God bless. Stay safe.